Public scrutiny involves complete criminal harassment and complete where individuals and their families are actually incarcerated and fully controlled by whoever is driving their circumstance. The problem is you don't know who it is. It can be anybody, regardless if it is a government agency or an organisation. It could be anybody, and that is their predicament. So if you don't know how to protect yourself to stop that from happening, you will be at high risk of losing your liberty and losing everything you own, even your life. If you've been watching me on my Facebook page, there's a good example of a clip that's actually on my page where there's a big truck that drove along the motorway into a crowd of people on both sides of the road, and he drove on the road, but the crowd of people were on the side of the road. There was heaps of people, and it was quite visible that the crowd was a hostile group of people. So it was definitely a hostile alliance, and unfortunately there were probably one or two people that was quite obviously hurt or lost their lives in that little incident. That is, I kept that on my page because I thought it was a perfect example of what you would go through if you lost your privacy and then you were attacked in every area of your life. It's like a silent avalanche, and you do go down on a downhill spiral financially, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. The other disadvantage that I found is when you're blocked or blacklisted, a part of going downhill is that none of the complaints work at all because it's already been contaminated by the opposition, whose motive and intention is to destroy and to take over your personal space.
Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Mina Crichton. I'm the narrator of this video clip and all my clips on YouTube. Today's day is the 30th of September 2025. Okay, so I'm going to be continuing with my court case. But I think on this video clip, because New Zealand Police and IPCA are both jointly joined on my statement of claim, and I thought I would actually first start with New Zealand Police because the case is definitely body corporates and individuals. I mean, it's past the individual, who is the individual suspect. We're dealing with a conspiracy by body corporate, a conspiracy to commit murder. Okay, so yes, in my profile, there are other incidents that took place while I was working for my employer where they did poison me. Okay, and then as time went on, other incidents took place. So my whole profile, clearly, I'm just dealing with me as an individual, nobody else. Nobody else comes into place in my court cases. This is what happens if something serious fraud office wants to investigate a single individual after the fact. If I didn't make it, for example, I got murdered, they have to find out everything about the individual from the beginning of when they were born right up to the day they died, okay, for obvious reasons, okay, because of cases like mine where an individual may possibly be used for money laundering and other serious offences by those in public office or just a specific group. But it's definitely, my case definitely falls in crimes against humanity because of the length of time and because I've actually exhausted the justice system, and my case has gone several well over 20 judges, okay, historically. The case has been going on for over 9 years, which is illegal. So, you know, I know this has been really difficult on me, myself, but as the years pass by, I realize for my own personal journey why I even got my job working for the Department of Courts. Okay, my first occupation, I got my foot in the door through a job interview. I didn't cheat or anything. I feel I was, looking back as a spiritual woman, I believe God led me into that job. Okay, so I got that job through a panel interview. If you watch my other videos, you'll know how I got my job. But one thing I learnt from that job was how to read documentations as far as evidence is concerned. Now, those in criminal law, those like experience in my kind of caliber I'm used to when I was working for the departments of court will know exactly what I'm talking about. So others will think, oh, you know, what the heck is she mumbling and jumbling about? But when I was working as jury trials depositions, part of my job was putting all the evidence together, and you can just tell just by reading the facts on documentations, the facts of what took place, the facts of what the victim said, the facts of the witnesses that were within the crime scene in the moment. You can just tell just from reading documentations of whether, you know, it's fraud or whether it's true. I can just tell from reading a documentation whether that person who wrote it actually wrote it, whether they were actually the supposedly, you know, judges get paid lots of money not to get it wrong, or, you know, court, you know, those work in court, they get paid a lot of money. It's the taxpayers' money, okay? So, you know, they get paid a lot of money not to make mistakes, okay? So, but my case, unfortunately, I've been contesting it because it's unlawful strikes, and because it's involving internal corruption, obviously. There's been a lot of people guilty of what they've done to me. Fair enough on them, but they've made me live in limbo and in danger, and it has actually endangered a lot of people. But what makes it even worse is the fact that it's a global thing. Okay, so I have learnt how to read documentations, whether they're even fraud or legit. So, you know, if you've been watching my case, so today I'm going to focus on the New Zealand Police court case. They haven't won anything, and everything I have submitted to them has been legit evidence, like real legal facts. Okay, so when in a jury trial deposition, when a victim is a victim, everything about a victim says about the crime scene are all taken into consideration. Okay, so basically what you have to present to the judge, or whatever you say in court, has to be the truth and nothing but the truth. Okay, so that is the environment I'm used to, and the kind of people that I grew up in, I'm used to that, and also in the professional side. So you'll never really catch me ever lying or making up something unless I'm in a sarcastic mood, you know, or, you know, but for important things like the government, to do with legislation, to do with my court case, to do anything, I know that could be backfire on me. So, but you'd find they wouldn't be able to pinpoint anything, you know, to get me at fault, because it's my truth, because it's my in the moment evidence. Okay. But today I was just going over the documentations with New Zealand Police, and then next video I will go over the result to do with IPCA. But I feel I needed to go over this because this is really important, just to prove in documentation of perjury, and like I said, I know my whole file because I'm doing it myself. So I know where the evidence is. Yes, an expert may be able to come and pick it up, my file, if I don't make it, and read it, but no one can get it more accurate than the person themselves. So there's a lot of credibility in what I say because I did the job. I used to case manage murder cases, serious fraud cases, rape cases, you name it. And when anyone that has done that kind of cases, you hear every single gory detail, okay? They're quite pornographic. Rape cases, you hear it all, and then I've even had to say things in court that I would never say in real life, but, that is the real McCoy of real life evidence. Because why is that? It's because a judge needs to hear the real evidence, so then they can make a decision. And I'm telling you, in my career working for the government, I have never ever seen a judge I've worked with write anything fraudulent. Everything must be bang on accurate. So I find what I've gone through appalling. Okay, I think it's an insult on people like myself who's been through a lot, and especially when you know everything you're saying is true, only for them, to write terrible judgments. But what I'm going to do today, because I've been going over the New Zealand police case, putting everything together, I've actually been going through a lot personally, but I feel I've got to keep going with this until I'm satisfied of the result. But what I'm going to go over today is the New Zealand police court case, because I'm actually putting a memo in for the courts for costs. The next video, because I need time to think about it, is to go over the IPCA. But what I'm wanting to go over today is the evidence to prove fraud, to prove conspiracy, and just, if you've been watching all the other videos where I've put the judgments on, unlawful strikes is fraud, guys. It's felony, okay? It's not honest. I'm contesting it because it's not true. The case doesn't even belong in the civil. But what I find appalling is the money laundering, the relationship scam, the global linking, the intimacy, the illegal commonwealth, and the things that I've had to suffer on my own. When I go out in public, I don't know who's behind this and they think I'm safe, but I do not find it safe walking, going out and I'm being stalked, micromanaged by the public. Okay, so that's not a normal environment. And as an end result, over the years, other people have just taken advantage, using me and stealing off me. And it's been pure hell. But, this is my journey. So they know, okay, they all know, the government knows that my case has gone public. I didn't realize that they were actually doing their, they call it a democracy, but I don't call it. I think you're very deceived if you think democracy is acting out, inciting, but you're actually inciting to mutiny. I mean, the inciting has affected me in my space. I have not been able to go forward. It's been hostile, it's been dangerous, and I've just seen people in my life disappear. I know some of them are dead. So I don't know if that's just so immature, okay? All that it's done is put innocent civilians who don't even know that they're walking into anything dangerous, but it backfires. They call it a democracy. I call it a conspiracy because it's my life that they've used, to play their illegal commonwealth. But I didn't realize that this was happening until I realized afterwards, after the fact. And then I thought, no, I'm going to denounce yous, because that's illegal, linking to the Commonwealth Games and relationship scam. It's quite evidential. It's a conspiracy to commit murder, especially with the length of time and the people that have actually gotten away with it. Okay, there's a lot of money involved. I don't know what you guys want to call it, the rich man's game. The rich stays richer, but they're getting rich off innocent civilians. Okay, I'm one of them, and I'm going to expose my court case publicly for intervention, and it is working. okay, because they call it a democracy, but these secret societies are secretly murdering innocent civilians. They are acting out their motive and intent before they actually do it. They are in my space making blackmail threats. They're going to kill someone. And over the years, yes, they have done that. So we're going to go back to the New Zealand Police, because New Zealand Police is linked with IPCA, okay? What I find disgusting is the intimacy, okay? The intimacy is wrong. And then to find that they're coding globally, coding people's motive and intent. Okay, so don't take anything I say lightly, because you wouldn't know, the kind of things that you just know something's not right, but you just know. So what I'm saying is listen to your gut instinct. If you think something is not right, stay alert, but don't take anything I say lightly, because I've had to go through this, and I know everyone's listening to me. I know there's a lot of people who look up to me. I'm not the kind of person who's into deception or, to deceive anyone. I would never do that, because, I'd be a hypocrite if I did. And I would never want to mislead anybody down the wrong track. But just keep in mind, this is my journey, okay? It's not yours. It's my journey. It's the truth. It's what God led me to do in my life. It's my business, my world, and my sins, whatever it is between me and God, not you, okay? But I just know, and I'm quite sure there's a lot of people out there who knows me personally know I am supposed to be doing this. But so I'm doing it. So I'll go back to the New Zealand Police case, all right? Keeping in mind, I didn't even know this, but the reason why I've gone through this, that I can confirm, it's because the government has been using me like a product. That's the reality. Over the years, people have help themselves in my private profile and everything without my permission or consent. Now, I know that the old system, you never do that to a human being, especially if they're the victim. I mean, I feel like they're putting me in this coalition public thing. I mean, who the hell do these people think they are to judge my life? Now, I'm going to make sure they get judged by the law and by the public, okay? So, the whole idea is at least give other people the opportunity to be aware of what a big brother global game involving, their family member. But this is so serious because it takes out people's bloodline, okay? Innocent civilians who know nothing about the law are getting used so other people can gain money or whatever they want to call it. But it is espionage, it is global, and it is very, very serious. We're talking about psychological, mental abuse. We're talking about psychopathic criminals, psychopathic murderers. These people behind the scene monitoring us. We're talking about motive and intent. I mean, who the hell do they think they are to think that they can do this to us or anybody and get away with it? Okay, I've suffered greatly, but anyways, I just know I'm supposed to be doing this, okay? The rest I leave to God. But I'm going to go back to the New Zealand Police case, and I'm going to go as far as the court protocol is concerned, okay? I'm old school, okay? I have never sat in a court case where a judge is, bias or prejudice about who's going to win. Most judges, or all judges actually, in my professional lifetime working for the courts, they are very, very competent men and women of integrity. I have never myself have seen a judgment written like the judgments I have read, okay? It's appalling. Some of the judgments I think, and you got a law degree, like serious, one, the things are written, there's no accuracy as far as the evidence that I have submitted. Most of the judgments I have read, the judges haven't even read the evidence. I can tell. So I mean, I have submitted evidence after evidence. I'm very efficient. I know exactly what the judge needs. So then I knew I've won. I mean, nobody would waste in doing what I'm doing if they know that they're right. If they know that they're wrong, it'd be a waste of time. But I haven't given up, because that's my life they're writing about. That's my life they're exploiting publicly and globally. That is illegal, what they are doing to any human being. Okay, so I'm just going to get to it. So the starting point with New Zealand Police is, keep in mind I've had all the other cases going on, so I'm going to try and just focus on this evidence that's on my heart I know I need to put on this video, okay? So the starting point is there's a pattern, okay? So they're using different people all the time, causing confusion, causing me mental stress, and I'm trying to kind of stay focused on my evidence and then present it to the courts, but it's been inhumane, okay? But anyway, I made it this far and I don't intend on quitting. So there's been several court case officers, different new people all the time. They basically have locked me out, and there's clear evidence I'm locked out, and I'm being micromanaged mainly by the court deputy registrars, so I'm definitely locked out. So there's clear evidence of that. So on the 6th of June, there was no there was actually no counsel for New Zealand Police or IPCA, right? This is after chasing and asking court, going back and forth. They know I'm coming. I don't know what they want to call what they've done to me, but it's so wrong. So Anne Kimmy came on scene. She was new. I met her this day because I wanted to go in and view my files, because I'm entitled to. So for those that don't know, if you want to view your file and you're a party to it and it's your file, it's for free. Because that's the other thing I have found, is they are overcharging people. Okay, that is what I found in my case. They're overcharging people, making up their own charges, and then making the other party pay for it. But there's a process for everything. But I have caught them out heaps of times lying to me, trying to say something's worth this and this, and I know very, very well, because there's a schedule. Okay, there's a schedule for where the charges come, and that's how much things should cost. But I have found that the Crown, or the agencies representing the defendants are overcharging in some cases, all right? Yes, they are worth a lot of, lawyers do cost a lot of money, but there are some things that it's already set on by the courts of what to charge people. Now, I found also new people on board are giving misleading information, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they're brand new. I feel this is a tactic by whoever's behind to sabotage. It's sabotage, guys. Okay, so the government, the courts can be charged for sabotage and every other criminal charges involving my case. Okay, because this is after the fact. So the first lawyer that came in for New Zealand Police was on the 6th of June, and the request was the case officer at this point in time was Anne Kimmy, and she said, because I'd asked her who's the case officer, because it's not my job to actually get a counsel for Crown or for the other party. It is the courts. Okay, so if you don't know that, the courts are supposed to assign, that's what a court deputy registrar's role is to assign a counsel for the case. So the first case counsel for this case was Mark Haraborough right here. This is his name here. Okay, so I'm showing real hardcore evidence because what I have also found over the years, they've deleted evidence. They've deleted or ripped out pages of my documents. They're sabotaging my life. That's my personal property. So any legal documents you give to the courts, that is your personal property, and they are actually supposed to enter it. They're supposed to enter every single legal document on CMS, it's called, if it's still called that. That's the court database. They're supposed to actually enter every single document, but I know that they haven't been doing that with me. Why? Because their motive and intent is to actually murder me after using me, okay? Because I quite clearly, there's clear evidence, I'm saying against everybody that they have stolen my identity and they have used me for money laundering historically, and they have stolen off me tax invasion or many other things. So that's a sign of conspiracy. That's illegal. They're supposed to. Actually, the courts are supposed to, the case officer are supposed to actually enter every single detail, every single legal document I give them. But I can guarantee you they haven't done that. All right? Why? Because their motive and intent is they're going to kill me because they're switching. Okay? They're switching. The animated me, it's called. Okay, so that's another evidence to indicate foul play or serious fraud issues, because the courts are supposed to enter every single documents in CMS when they receive it over the counter. I also know that they've actually deleted or put through my documents away. They don't exist. Then they've come onto my laptop and do proxy hacking, delete evidence. Their whole idea is to make me look like I'm the incompetent, crazy woman, and everything is quite clear that is the motive and intent. There's a consistency of pattern of being animated, glued, linked to my court case and anything monetary. And what is the end result? Common sense. What's the end result when you say you're doing all this and the courts or the government are not keeping record? What's the end result? They're going to eliminate me like I don't exist. That's conspiracy to commit murder, and that's easy to prove too now. Okay, New Zealand Police was first actually lodged in the judiciary review going back to 21st of December 2022, okay? But it's been just sitting there, but in between all that, I've been doing court cases. I've exhausted the system for over 9 years. Okay, so but New Zealand Police didn't go before a judge until the 15th of May, and Judge Lester made a minute for New Zealand Police and IPCA, and the case officer that sent out was Taoa Petaru. Okay, from my own personal experience or my own personal opinion with what I've gone through with the courts, the other cultures are playing games with my files, okay? That is very dangerous, and it's like a tactic by those in hierarchy. Like they're using the white collar crimes. They know very well I'm suffering, okay? So they're just sitting back and just, and I know they're watching and they know everything I'm saying is true, but that's just not on. They just let somebody die and wait for someone to get murdered. That's conspiracy to commit murder, because I've exhausted the system. Okay, I'm fighting for my liberty. I'm fighting for my life. I can't go forward. But I have found that the case officers have, they've all participated in one way or another. They're putting new people in my space, and then they want to blame because that person is new. But I'm sorry, a court case going on for over 9 years, same problem, same pattern, same I've put in appeals. I started lodging criminal charges against Ministry of Health. It's like they're just stealing my intellectual property. So Judge Lester actually sent out a minute for PSA and also for New Zealand Police and IPCA on the same day, okay, on the 15th of September, but Taua did not send it out until the 16th of May for which one is this one? Let's just have a look. Okay, Judge Lester sent out a minute for PSA and IPCA on the 15th, but Taua didn't send out the minute for New Zealand Police, for PSA until the next day, okay? I didn't know why he did that, but that's what he did. Okay, so what I'm saying is the cultural, where other cultures are all ganging up on me. They're using their jobs to block me. Okay, they're using my bills to harass me, to stalk me. They're keeping an eye on what I'm spending, and they're counting everything I'm doing. So I'm definitely blacklisted, locking out, and that's why others, they think it's funny and it's easy for them. It's a quick steal. Okay, they coded me, and it's a global game. So, I'm just going to go over the evidence. Okay, so this is public. See, this is Public Service Association, was sent out by Judge Lester on the same day, or he made it on the same day. Okay, but some of the wordings on the judgments, I have felt it's all part of the coding. Okay, I find that some of it quite offensive because, the actual language as a competent lawyer, I don't know if you're old school or whatever, but the language I find is part of coding. Okay, I've read words, the language is just not, to me, with what I've gone through as a blacklisted person or a slave, whatever they want to call it, they are literally spiritually writing it on the documents they write. All right, it really concerns me, but it's a tactic. I'm coded, so that's why everything is intentional. So it's a criminal case. So I had this one too with IPCA, and I actually put in a judgment for that. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to find Judge Lester's minute for New Zealand Police. Okay, so this here is New Zealand Police. Okay, this is from Judge Lester. I just need to go over it because I feel it's important. I show you what I want to show you, okay? So the judge has made this. I haven't met the judge. So when it says on paper, the judge is doing a minute in his chambers. So I have never met this judge, but the courts have given it to the judge and the judge has written it up, okay? Just some of the words I can tell I'm being a slave, the wording of it, and it's all part of some big money laundering thing that I don't know about or I have a suspicion about, and yet to be proven for real. But anyways, this here is the judge's minute. You can read it yourself. I've already gone over this, but the evidence I feel is really important with what I'm going to show you, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to show you is, I had a lot of correspondence, and then Katie, let's see what's her name, Sean Kinsler, okay? The whole thing about working in public office, you have nothing to worry about if you're doing things behind the scene and you're not breaking the law. That's the whole idea, okay? So, if you've done something wrong, that's not my problem. But those judgments are forever, and I'm contesting that. So I just got over this, okay? The council, when Annie Kim is her name, she assigned the council as Mark Haraboro. So then this council came on board, and but with the courts, when the courts actually assign, so the court is actually the court registrar and the judge. But depending what it is, like cases like mine, when it's been before a judge, the court actually is the judge. All right, but the court registrar represents the court too, but they can't write everything without the judge's consent or without all the parties' consent. Okay, so in my case, consent has to come from the judge for anything because it's been going on for so long and it's been in the hands of the judge. Okay, but this is the new world order system that is so illegal. So these, Kate and Sean Kinsler and Katie came on board with this as a Crown. And because I'd already sent all my documents to, this is another cause of privacy breach, all right? My documents. These people are retrieving my documents, all right? Everything legal, okay? And it's cleverly designed so they can steal and without getting caught. But serious fraud office, this is a serious fraud case, okay? Because there's absolutely nothing wrong with me other than, yes, I get stressed, which is, if you walked in my shoes, you'll understand where I'm coming from. So I had sent all my documents to, if you can read the email yourself, I'll try and skip it, but you can read it for yourself and I'll just quickly go over what I need to point out on, so this video won't go too long. So, and when that first came to me, I'm like, okay, the courts have assigned Mark Haraboro as the assigned counsel, and he's actually acknowledged that, and he actually asked the courts and myself to actually forward the statement of claim and notice proceedings. So I sent all the documents to him, expecting it to be him. I put memorandums to the court, to Annie Kim and him, letting them know my what I intend on doing. I was going to do a set-aside judgment for the judge to make a judgment of liability, because that is the next step. Okay, so obviously the Crown don't want me to get, they don't want the judge to make any. So that's the battle here. The war here is, as far as the court's concerned, is the defendant in my case is the Crown, and they don't want, of course, they don't want to defeat, or they don't want the judge to make an order in my favour. Okay, so when they contacted me, I told them, I see this email here I wrote to all of them, because I'm telling them they're not respecting my wishes. To them, the way they have corresponded to me is like, who the effing think you are, kind of a thing, but that doesn't come into place. But that is why we have the court registry, like the court deputy registrar are not meant to be, they're not meant to be siding with anyone, but there's clear indication of trading and influence in my case, okay? But the whole reason why we have a court deputy registrar in between the judge is that the case officer is the person that we are meant to be liaising with. Then that person, the case officer, is meant to liaise with the judge. But in my case, there's been so many people involved. Okay, and it's quite clear just by reading my email that they're all ganging up on me and helping each other secretly. But this email here, I sent to them on the 18th of June. Just take note of the dates, because I'm going to go right onto the evidence to prove a fact. Okay, I wrote here, all documents were sent to Mark Haraboro. It seems to be the council's repetitive, continuous tactic to try and confuse the courts and the judge. Example, assigning different councils, because this is like going on for 9 years, so I'm used to their tactic. Okay, so you guys, somebody else may be going through the same thing what I'm going through. So read your circumstance correctly, you're blocked, you're blacklisted, and the opponent is cheating. So I say I am an efficient individual, and if I say I've done something, I have done it. Sending my private documents to heaps of people is a breach of my privacy. And because the case is crimes against humanity, because it is, the case definitely is crimes against humanity when it involves globally, when somebody's been used for relationship scam, money laundering, and a product. So yes, it's crimes against humanity case. And it's definitely a trafficking ring I'm stuck in. It's just a matter of me trying to prove it. Also, it's been an illegal public commonwealth game without my consent. So I'm pushed into it, okay? I'm lured into it. I'm stuck and I'm trapped, and they know it. So my whole environment is controlled and micromanaged. So that is what you call a trafficking ring, okay? When an individual's civil rights are taken away and other people are treating them like they don't have any rights. That is what, if you're going through that is what you're going through. You're going through these signs. If you're going through signs of what I'm going through, you may be trapped also in a trafficking ring. Okay. So I sent that email. Now I want to go on to the Judge Gardner came on board on this one, okay? So what I have found, because Kate, I already told Kate Perry Katie and Sean what was my intention. Quite obviously, they don't want the judge to make an order in my favor, even though I'm confident they have no case, because they don't. They absolutely have no case and no evidence. Okay, and using case studies to win a case is not evidence. Okay. So anyway, I don't know how it happened, but I got sent a email from Judge Gardner's associate. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry guys, I just had to find the email. Okay, so I got an email from Taua, okay, but but Kim is actually the case officer. So, but Taua is responding to me, so you can quite clearly see that the cause of confusion and cheating, because I have found the Crown had used their contacts, and they're telling the court deputy registrar what to do. I would put here, see, I wrote to Taua, said, my understanding is that Annie Kim is the case officer, the assigned one according to the courts, but he sent out the memo for Judge Lester, okay, and then he also sent out a memo. Just give me a chance, I'll try and find it. Okay, sorry guys, here it is, I found it. This is the memo that was sent by Taua to myself, okay, and on it was attached from Judge Gardner's associate, okay, and he's gone behind my back, or the councils have gone behind my back without me knowing, and I'm telling you, this is illegal. So what you're actually witnessing is a conspiracy according to the laws, okay. So Taua sent me this to let me know that Judge Gardner had made a minute, okay? And just another thing, they're coding me, okay? I'm a threat to them. That's why what I'm saying is they're committing perjury, and then they want to make sure that it doesn't backfire. That is why they're coding people, okay? That is very serious, all right? This is my case, so I'm sharing it so you can all see what an actual conspiracy is. Anthony is the judge's associate. See here, his name is Anthony Waite, okay? And he has sent an email out on the 27th of June, and I didn't even know anything about Judge Gardner or why, she had made a minute, because no one had notified me, Annie Kim, didn't notify me, and Taua just sent this to me from her associate, Judge Gardner's associate, and you can see all the emails here of the Crown, all right? And with it was Judge's minute. And then I wrote here, I responded to all of them. Okay, and I wrote, I am sending this email in regards to Associate Judge Gardner's minute. The plaintiff did not get this email until the 5th of July 2024. My position is still the same, and the plaintiff will remain in the same position with the application already submitted to the courts and council on Monday the 8th. Okay, and basically I've just let them know that I'm going to be doing an interlocutory application, set aside judgment for miscarriage of justice. So that is what the Crown is trying to stop, is for the judge to not make an order in my favour, because that means they have to pay me, and that also means it's over. Okay, so that is why the Crown is cheating, because so what you're actually seeing is actually trading in influence. What you're actually seeing is they are using their contact versus one woman globally. Okay, so you can understand the mental stress I've been under, the mental injury, everything they've put me through has been horrific. I'm even shocked I've made it this far myself. Okay, so I sent them this. So anyway, in saying that, the Judge Gardner has made an order, right? And I will go over that. Just give me a quick, because this is really important. So the judge has made an order, if you can see it. And on this order, doesn't even have Mina Crichton's name, who's actually the plaintiff. But the way I read it, they've made the New Zealand police the plaintiff in person. That's the way I read it, because I didn't know about it. Okay, I just got sent the email, so I didn't even know about. Annie Kim never told me, all I got was an email from Taua with this attachment. So this is what I'm going to show you is, one, they didn't have my name on it. Okay, common sense, right? They don't have the plaintiff's name, but they've made themselves the plaintiff. Okay, so that is clear case that they've stolen. They're trying to steal my cases. That is what I'm up against. They're trying to steal my cases or steal anything about me, and that's the warlike, personal victimization I've been up against since I lost my privacy. Okay, and so the minute's written by the minute of Associate Judge Gardner. Okay, so those in hierarchy knows very well that I'm suffering. They're actually relying on their contacts or the people that look up to them to sabotage me. Okay, that's quite clear, and that is where the Commonwealth game comes in. These people have family members, so they're getting all their families and all their friends. And I'm telling you, not every family is perfect. Everyone's got somebody linked or somebody bad in their family, and they're just all making contact. And that's where the illegal Commonwealth games come in. Okay, that's how it started. Is because somebody inside court. And everything's just done by word and mouth. Okay, so this is a minute from Associate Judge Gardner. Sorry about my voice, but I'm the aggrieved victim, so you can hear my voice sometimes. They know I'm suffering. They've mocked me about it. It's just been inhumane what they've done to me. Okay, and then if you read, the judge has actually made a schedule. Okay, and so she's made a reference to the statement or to Judge Lester's to actually strike out. Okay, to strike out the application of New Zealand Police, and they've also written on here that the New Zealand Police is the plaintiff. So New Zealand Police is the victim. Poor them. I just need to find a judge. The other thing I have found is, I forgot to mention, is that Judge Lester actually sent out a second minute. Okay, he said a second minute on the same day. All right, I'll just try and find that. Okay, so I haven't found it yet, but I will find it. See, this is just me responding to Mark Haraboro. He never responded anymore after from when after I sent him all my documents. So keeping in mind all these people are in my space, they've all got my legal documents, and I'm a person on my own. They've isolated me. They've caused division in my private affairs, in my private life. It's affected my family and my relationships. Going back in the early days, they were actually trying to make out that something was wrong with me, and my family don't even realize how serious what I've gone through. So I've had to do this publicly, and it's working, and everyone's waking up. So the whole idea is to have an international criminal case against the government and those who are actually committing some pretty serious offences, and it's working. Okay, and also give other people a chance to actually save themselves. But it's serious. So don't take anything I say lightly. It's inhumane. The whole idea is to eliminate. It is a conspiracy to commit murder. Okay. Just hold on a moment. So with Judge Gardner's minute, it's shifted. They've made the Crown the plaintiff. Okay, so it's actually fraud. All right, I'm going to contest it, obviously. I'm just trying to find Judge's minute, because there was a minute that Judge made where the judge actually Judge actually acknowledged that it looks like the affidavit has been served. So basically, he's asked to contact the counsel of the opposition. Okay, so what I'm saying is the case is fraudulent. The judgment is fraud because the Crown actually stole my case. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get first in, and the case actually belongs to the person who actually commences it. Okay, so what I find very serious about what's happening to me is they're actually stealing people's cases. Okay, and the people that they're actually using to animate me are their own family and friends or group of people. It's a game. It's a global game, and everyone is linked to it somehow. But I'm definitely the person that they're stealing off or using for a pecuniary advantage. So what I have also found is that these court deputy registrar, they are linked to some of those people who they call themselves agents. Okay, they're actually breaching privacy breaches by leaking to agents, people with lots of money. Okay, this is where the lockout, the scam, and then I have all these millionaires and billionaires and singers in my space pinning me down, using their songs and lyrics. My whole environment is contaminated by zombie people. And so that's what I've gone through. I'm just going to try and find, because just the minute that Judge Lester sent out, so what I'm finding, once your privacy is gone, okay, they do intend on eliminating the person. Okay, they do. There's no security. I mean, over the years, I've just watched people disappear. Let's just try. I'm trying to find the minute of Judge. That's October. Just hang on a moment. So you can see here, I got an email from Elton. Okay, he's the team leader here. So it says team leader. So what I'm saying is these court deputy registrar are linked to the a coalition of whoever it is linking to the government. That is where the inciting comes from. That means I'm the exploited product. Okay, I'm the enemy. I'm dealing with sound effects. I'm the like I'm not joking. For an example, I know that in the olden days, I'm just saying this, but when the Indians are in trouble, they're doing their drums to let other people know, like they're doing signals to let everyone know that they're in trouble, they need help. So that is what they're actually doing. Okay, or they're blowing whistle to let everyone know I'm the whistleblower, I'm the threat to the government because of all their jobs, and rightly so. What they've done to me is so serious. Okay, because usually the old system would never cover up something what I've gone through historically for so long. It's usually dealt with and then exposed. Why? To stop it from spreading. The only way to stop defamation and to stop people, these are breaches. These are internal corruptions. These are people are gluing themselves to people's family members. You know what I'm saying? They're taking turns. Like what's happened to me can happen to anyone at any time. But that's why I have to expose it. Okay. So here is a confirmation that Annie Kim is actually the case officer. But Judge Lester I can't find it right now, but he did send out another minute to actually confirm that I served it. It looked like to me he had actually seen it. So as far as I'm concerned, when it came to the actual court date, it should have still been my case, but there's clear evidence of a secret conspiracy behind the scene, and also linking. So you can hear the sound effects. The gangs, they let me know they're pissed off. I don't care. But the game is involving. I'm the enemy. I'm the money machine. Okay, and that's why I have to do what I'm doing, because it is so serious. It's global. Okay, it's not just internal. I know people go through things, so that's because they don't realize they're not even breaking the law. But once you know what the law is, you're accountable. But in saying that, depending what the offence is, that it's all about making the right decisions. Okay, so this is confirmation. The whole idea of the game is nobody believes me. That is why they use the mental health act on me. They know very well I'm an honest person. They know very well I don't lie, and they know very well that I'm intelligent, and I do come up with good ideas and stuff, and good people are lured to me. So I'm trapped. I'm locked out by people. They're using the call center to block people, and they're using people's immediate family like a shield. That's what's happening. They're using the police, and then they're using their jobs. And I've looked in the laws. Okay, I've looked on the laws. They're actually changed the whole system where they think that they can do what they're doing to me, or as an example, and then they don't get charged for anything serious. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So there's hardcore evidence, okay, for secret, competent people like myself, who don't tolerate breaches or play games with people's liberty, to actually go and arrest those people. But my case is definitely a serious fraud case. Here it is. I found that Judge Lester actually sent out another minute, okay? And the minute actually says that the registrar is to refer the statement of claim in this proceeding and Ms. Crichton's affidavit of service to Meredith Connell. The proceeding appears to have been served and not responded to. Whatever view is taken of the proceeding, they should not be ignored, and I request the Crown solicitors file a memorandum setting out their position in relation to this proceeding. So that is why I put in a judgment of set aside judgment of liability, because I have served New Zealand Police twice. And the truth of the matter is, New Zealand Police is linked to the relationship scam linking to Amy Denton and Natalie Visciso. Okay, that is why I was denouncing all those video clips, and when with Henry Cavill and myself. Okay, so the original is the real Henry Cavill and myself versus the public innuendo, the public deception linking to these unlawful strikes. But the whole idea is, obviously my case legally by law is mine. Legally by law, no one can take it off me because it's mine. But that is what they're secretly conspiring. The winner takes it all, the relationship scam, and they're getting people's family involved because your family has either accepted bribery of some sort or is involved in some way, and causes division. But at the end of the day, I have to make what's right for myself, quite obviously, for obvious reasons. Okay? But yeah, so I hope you'll get the idea. I have read some of the, on Google, I denounce all that Henry Cavill is not injured. All right? It's all part of the game. And I know exactly who's trying to take over, but it's global. Okay, some of these hosts or agents, they are operating around the world, and they just track us down or track the original to steal. Okay, it's a real life conspiracy involving technologies going back to 2010 when I first lost my privacy, going back to 2006. I'm saying my whole profile will prove a global conspiracy of breaches, meaning if the right people will do the investigation, and some very prominent people, hierarchy people involved, will get arrested, because that's what's supposed to happen in a real conspiracy crime like mine, where home invasion has taken away a lot of people I work with in government. Didn't even know, because like New Zealand is actually quite a little bit left behind. Okay, quite obviously. That's why I have felt compelled in my heart to do what I'm doing and expose my story, whether I live or die, because it's beyond serious. Okay, the game is all about deceiving the public and actually watering down like a cover-up, like everything's a joke. But if you follow me on my Facebook page, I've interpreted the law for those who don't know how to interpret the law, because I've deleted a lot of laws, okay? And I know that everyone's culture, everyone's belief is different, but the laws are set out. It's got nothing to do with people's beliefs, okay? It's got nothing to do with religion. The law is actually set out to protect that individual, okay? So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. The next video, I will go over the evidence and update you all about independent police code of conduct, okay? But it is definitely a conspiracy to commit murder on myself. And it is home invasion linking to everybody else that no longer exists today. So bear in mind, guys, a whistleblower is not a person who is corrupt. We have not broken any laws. I am still within my right to oppose what has happened to me, to be compensated, and also to be able to have life, like everybody else. But they are turning it around, making the actual real victims their defendant when they're not. So that, in other words, I'm saying in my case, they're protecting their defendants rather than the victims, okay? But it's evil. All I can say, what I've experienced personally, it is evil. Okay, so we're dealing with home invasion. Okay, so what I can actually now, what you're all witnessing is organized crime. Okay, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing, some people, they're getting rich off me. Okay, they've used me for money laundering. And obviously that's the same thing that's happened with Henry Cavill. So I think everyone who is not into games or whatever understand where I'm coming from. But it is actually like a first degree, like I've just used this as an example wherever I wrote out a plan, like these are what these people are doing, these are what these coalitions are doing secretly behind the system involving myself. Okay, they're planning and plotting the scheme, they've got all these people involved. It's all about money, obviously, and then at the end of it, you know, the person gets eliminated. It's a secret society where they can actually get away with murder. Okay, people disappear, chopped up, buried. They're acting it out. Okay, they're actually acting out their motive and intent. So if you witness that and you feel and there's a consistency of something going on within your environment, do not ignore it. Tell somebody, ring the cops, I don't know, do what you got to do to protect yourself and the family. But that is what a conspiracy does. Okay, they plan and plot something, they wait for how many months, everything is calculated perfectly, all to do with money, but their whole intent is not to get caught. Okay, then once the person is dead, they're rich, free money. That is what they did to me with Unison Dance Crew. Okay, and the other thing I have found, they've been deleting things as things happen. So I will leave it at that. I'm sorry I've gone over a little bit longer, but the next video clip I will update you guys in regards to IPCA, and it gives me real satisfaction actually doing this, because I know God will intervene his way in his time. And on that note, guys, we're talking about integrity and honesty. Proven facts has to be proven on writing. Okay, honestly, the judgments I've read is embarrassing, quite insulting, really. But it goes to show, just because you have a law degree, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, it takes years to get things right. So I feel like people have just used me for like a money tree to steal my intellectual property and to use me for a pecuniary advantage, and I have not appreciated it. My situation is life-threatening. It still is life-threatening. Okay, so it is definitely, if anything happens to me, it's definitely murder or conspiracy to commit murder at this point in time, because I'm still alive. But I'm going to continue with my journey in faith and knowing that in God's time, he will make everything beautiful, and I look forward to that. Okay.